Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Alley. My name is Cody. Glad you guys are back for another video. Tonight we are previewing the lone Friday night matchup for week 14. We'll just get right into it. Starting at 7:05 p.m. Central Time, YouTube and Caffeine TV, live from the Rush Center in Ashwaubenon, Wisconsin, the 2-8 Jacksonville Sharks heading up to the frozen tundra for the 9-2 Green Bay Blizzard. This is the first chance any team can clinch a playoff spot. It is week 14. We still have 5 weeks left in the season. Green Bay can be the first. It's insane to think like that. But this win, if Green Bay gets the win, we'll talk about it in a minute. But if Green Bay does get this win, it ultimately just knocks Jacksonville completely out. Green Bay can kind of get 2 birds, 1 stone here if they pull off the victory. Jacksonville in a must-win mode rest of the season practically. Let's take a look at our starters. Or not starters, but let's take a look at our stat leaders. Fred Payton Jr. leading in both rushing and passing. He got the start last week. I assume he's going to get the start this week again unless they have Aaron Aiken come in for some reason. Not sure why, since Payton has gotten the majority of the snaps all season. Jeremiah Payton leading in the receiving category. 313 yards, 8 touchdowns for him. Ulrich Jones, Chase Lassiter, and Jabari Gorman leading in the defensive categories for the Sharks. On the Green Bay side, Max Myler, over 1,800 yards of total offense, 45 total touchdowns between rushing and passing, and just 4 interceptions. He has solidified himself as an MVP candidate. A few weeks ago, and even when I did my midseason report, I didn't necessarily have him up in there. I kind of had him as a dark horse. He has blown away expectations since then. He is just on a whole nother level when it comes to this. He is in the MVP race, solid. Lowell Patron leads receiving category, almost 500 yards for him. Sean Mustin, Julius Wilkerson, and Riverius Rivers, who, I mean, they lead in their statistical categories, but we got to talk a little bit about Riverius Rivers. He is making a case for Defensive Player of the Year. 10 pass breakups, 66.5 tackles, 2 tackles for a loss from a defensive back position, 4 picks, and 2 blocked kicks. He's all over the place. He is my player to watch defensively for Green Bay. We'll talk about him in a second. Players to watch for Jacksonville, we'll start with them first. Fred Payton Jr. The game kind of rests on his shoulders. We know what Green Bay is capable of. We know what the offense can do. We know what the defense can do. What can Jacksonville do? He's back in the saddle under center. 19 of 26, 153 yards and 3 touchdowns through the air last week. 14 rushes for 74 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. That was against Tulsa. They're really good against Tulsa. How good can they be against Green Bay? Jeremiah Price is my player to watch for them on the defensive line side. 2.5 tackles, 1.5 for a loss, and 2 pass breakups. We know the dual threat that is Max Myler. Can Jeremiah Price, can Munoz, can Ulrich Jones, can whoever's on that defensive line, and even Lassiter in the linebacker position, can they slow him down? We know that they like to take deep shots. We know that they can throw it around to Ballard, Demetrius Moore, Patron, and even get the running backs involved here. Can you slow them down? I don't know if you can stop them. Can you slow them down? 1.5 tackles and 2 pass breakups. If they can get those passes batted at the line of scrimmage, might have a little bit of a shot. On the Green Bay side, Harry Ballard, 5 catches, 69 yards, 2 touchdowns. I've said this in previous Green Bay previews. Kind of just take your pick. Their wide receivers have all kind of had their breakout games. Patron's had 1. Ballard's had 1 or 2 right now. He's had, the Sports Center top play. Demetrius Moore has been kind of serviceable there. He hasn't broken out like this, but he's had some pretty good games along the way. So look for more of the same. Obviously, they're going to run the ball. They're going to get Burgess's carries. Myler's going to scramble. He's going to do what he has to do to extend plays. And we'll just see what they do, how many deep shots they end up taking. Can they get behind that coverage? It has been kind of a weak point. Jacksonville has kind of cycled through some defensive backs throughout the season. We'll see what they do. On the defensive side, as I alluded to, Riverius Rivers, he's got to shut him down. Jeremiah Payton, probably that guy he's going to be covering. If they, I don't know if they do man-on-man and you stick with that guy throughout the game, but if he does, otherwise, you've got to go through him. You've got to go through Stubbs, Stoshak, whatever the case could be. 12 tackles, 2 picks, 2 pass breakups, 1 blocked kick. I mean, he was doing it all last week. Player of the week last week. Can he do it again? This is not Massachusetts. We'll see. I look for him to have another really, really good game. Maybe not that stat line exactly, but I look for him probably have 6 to 8 tackles. We'll see if he gets any extracurriculars. This is the first meeting between the two teams, which is just insane to think about. When you think about the AF2 in Green Bay going there, Jacksonville in 2010 in the AFL, and then Green Bay goes over to the Indoor Football League right before the AFL comes back. It's just kind of weird, a little overlapping history and how long Green Bay has truly been around. They've never met before, obviously in different leagues, so a little bit of history here. Blizzard are favored by 14 points. Money line is locked in an over-under of 88.5. So a decent spread, or I guess a decent total points. So let's go check out the rest of the preview, rosters, bets, all that stuff. All right, injury report popping up here. Jacksonville adds season injured reserve for Stanley Boom Williams. So it'll be the Tyler King show from the running game. Look for Fred Payton to get some yards there as well. Short-term injured reserve. I've started doing this. I will do this from here on out. I'm putting the date that the player was put on injured reserve to kind of show you how long that they have been out for. The Indoor Football League kind of says, hey, you have between 3 to 6 weeks from when that player gets injured. You have a minimum of 3 weeks and a maximum of 6 weeks to take them off injured reserve. The reason I'm putting these dates here is because these guys should be coming off injured reserve at any point unless they're going to keep them out for the season. So Connor Blunt, Marquise McLean, they've been on injured reserve for almost 2 months. Well, Blunt, almost 2 months. McLean's kind of getting there. For Green Bay, you add another season injured reserve, Ethan Culberson. He went down last week. Sad to see that he was now on a season injured reserve, but sucks. Short-term injured reserve, they do get Desmond Thomas off of the injured reserves until Williams stays on there. That's it. Let's go take a look at our rosters and the rest of the preview. All right, 25-man roster. Start with the away team, as we always do. Jacksonville not making a lot of changes. Offensively, nothing changes. They're going to stick with the same 3 offensive linemen. A little bit of depth on the wide receiving front. Tyler King will be your running back to go for. I'm assuming Fred Payton starts, barring anything weird. Defensive line will probably be the same guys with Russell, Jones, and Price. We'll see if Wiggins or Munoz is a reserve. See if they get in. Xavier Peters played last week. Chase Lassiter will probably still be your starting linebacker. We'll see what they do there. And then defensive backs, you're going to go with those 4, and then they've signed Amon Ross. And then they have released their kicker and signed Shane McInerney. He kicked with Arizona last year for, I don't know if it was the whole season, but most of the season. On the Green Bay side, I don't think there's any changes. Desmond Thomas offensively, Desmond Thomas on the offensive line, he comes off of injured reserve. So look for him to maybe not start, but if he does, he's in there. He's started to start the season. Wide receivers, running backs, quarterbacks all stay the same. I think it's going to be status quo for the Blizzard. Defensive line, nothing changes. Linebacker, nothing. Defense backs, nothing. They're just kind of running it back with everybody. So much depth on that defensive line. We'll see who actually gets the start. It might be the same usual suspects. We'll see. But more of the same from them. Practically more of the same from Jacksonville. Let's go. Let's go check out our bet. We'll do our prediction. We'll get on out of here. All right, best bet, under 88.5. They're going to go right up to it. I have a feeling they're going to go right up to it, and what I mean by that is I don't know if Jacksonville is going to score 45 against this defense. You're looking at 44, 45 points to go over for both teams. That being said, though, if Jacksonville doesn't go over 45 points, I do think Green Bay could have the opportunity to take those points that Jacksonville doesn't get. I'm still going under. I do think both these teams can run the ball pretty well. We'll see what they do. If they take any deep shots, we'll see if Jacksonville wants to run some clock and kind of, limit possessions. Green Bay kind of likes to run the ball and take their time a little bit along with hitting some deep shots. So we'll see what the strategy is for both teams. Under was pretty kind to last week to us. So we'll shoot our shot this week and see if we can get an under 88.5 here. I have a good feeling, which means it's not going to hit, but we'll see. Let's go take a look at our prediction, and we will move on to well, the end. All right, prediction time, 49-38 Green Bay. Like I said, we're going to go right up to that under 88.5 here. I've got it at 87 total points. But I do think that this point total looks doable. Like I said, Jacksonville has an opportunity to, make me eat my words after betting money line on them. I still doubt that they can score 40 points on Green Bay's defense, but we'll see. I have a lot of faith in Green Bay right now. Something you couldn't say years ago, but they look great this year. Green Bay is probably going to get their points. We'll see what they can do against this Jacksonville defense. Like I said, both teams kind of sticking status quo here. So can Jacksonville build off their win from last week? Can Green Bay just keep on keeping on and doing what they're doing? We'll see. I know Green Bay has put up, 40 plus points, 50 plus points practically all year. So it's almost a given for them. The question becomes, can Jacksonville do the same? If they do, happy to eat my words. I always love games that can go either close or over 40 points each. You need to get a lot of scoring, a lot of points, a lot of action. So either way, if the under doesn't hit, cool, we got some points. If it does hit, cool, I win money. But 49-38, I got Green Bay winning this one. So that's it. Quick little preview. We'll get ready for Friday. And with just the one game, we'll be ready for Saturday's kickoff. 6 games on that one. And then Sunday with the nightcap, as we always do. San Diego and Bay Area kicking us off on that. That being said, appreciate you guys watching yet another video. Again, everyone that's watched these, all of them, any of them, if you've just checked in for your first one, awesome. I love having you guys. Can't say enough nice things about you guys. Nice comments, nice feedback, nice anything and everything. It means a lot. Even the criticisms or the, pointing stuff out, corrections, whatever. It truly means a lot. It helps me grow. Love you guys for it. That being said, I'm going to take off here. Got to get ready for the next round of previews. Got to get ready to recap this one on Friday night. With that being said, I'm going to take off here. As always, guys, see ya.